YouTube, how the devil are you doing? It's Cooking, checking in again. I hope that you are fine and dandy. So today I am at Leeds Bradford Airport and I'm about to fly to Europe, somewhere in Europe. And recently I was talking to somebody and they said, you go on quite a few flights and yet you've never done any sort of EDC videos. Plenty of pictures, but never actually a video to explain things that I've got with me, why, how I've got it on the plane, etc. So that's what this video is. This is the Trakke canner. This is my bag of choice for this short trip. This is my 7th flight this year. So when I get there, we'll have a look what's inside, eh? Right, the elephant in the room is, of course, I am no longer in LimogeS. I am back home in the studio, the man cave, and it just didn't feel appropriate doing the video in the room where I was staying in the Airbnb. When I was there with family, was only there for a short space of time. It had taken me a good hour or so out of the short time that I had there, so it just didn't feel appropriate to do it. But I'm here, so let's carry on. The bag is the first thing I want to talk about. I went with Ryanair. Ryanair are amongst the strictest of carry-on bag size people that there are, and when anyone ever asks me which bag should I use, I always recommend the Four-Raven Kanken because it falls well within their Underseat bag allowance limit and you can fill that pretty good. I've been to Switzerland, Norway, anywhere in Europe. I've flown with the Four-Raven Kanken and I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. I've never had to pay an extra fee for having a large bag, even though people that I've been with have had their bags checks and have had to pay the £69 I think it is. So if you're going cheap flight, then something like that is what you need. That is all I recommend. Or this is the Trakke canner. Now I'd say this is an expert level because it's actually smaller than the Four-Raven Kanken, but I can fit what I need in this pretty goddamn well. So without further ado, let's discuss the bag and what's inside it. Not just the EDC stuff, but everything, so you can get an idea really, I suppose. The first thing that we're going to come to and discuss is water. So hung on the outside of the straps, I have the hero clip, which is pretty much a staple on all my bags. I always have them with me. They are a great accessory regardless whether you're travelling or you're just sort of going to work. But hanging on the outside is my collapsible Hydro pack. This is the 1 litre version. I have two 1 litres and a 2 litre, but this is the one that I always go. It rolls up to nothing, and when you go through the airport, once you've gone through security, you can fill this up with water out of a water filter fountain point. A lot of airports, I'll put a link down below to a website that's handy because it tells you where they are in airports. It's a community thing, so if you go to an airport and there's not one there, then put it in there. If there is one and it's moved, put it in there. I flew from Leeds Bradford and the water point that I used was in a totally different place this time because they've done a lot of work over the last 18 months I think, and yeah, it was a great water point. So that's the first thing. The next thing is the bag does have water pocket bottle things on the side. If you want to take your own flask type bottle, then please do so. I have done it in the past. Make sure you've got your lid off when you go through security, or else you're going to hold yourself up and everyone behind you. We'll come back to that in a second. And I think that that's probably it. Up to your own choice. That I can fill that up at the airport. By the time I get to the next airport I'm flying to, I can have drunk all that and I can then go and just get a nice refreshing drink from somewhere and treat myself, or fill up in that airport's filter point. But with your thermal one, you've got it for the time you're there and you can take a chilled drink out with you, so I suppose it has its benefits and negatives, but that's always going to be there. You can't put it anywhere else. It takes into the bag size. It might not fit into the bag sizing thing, and you might get someone telling you that you need to pay 70 quid. But anyway, moving swiftly on. When I flew from Leeds Bradford, I was wearing a jacket, if you noticed, because it was raining and it was cold. When I say it was cold, it was less than 10 degrees. It wasn't cold. But when I got to France, it was over 30 degrees. Didn't need that jacket on. Doesn't fit inside the bag, granted. So I folded and rolled it slightly so it sat across the top. Then I used a Matador. It's a reusable zip tie, effectively, but an elastic band, a hair bobble, piece of elastic shock cord with a cord lock on it, something like that could be good. Not necessary, but then when that was on top of the bag, just clips it through the hero clip and it wouldn't go anywhere. I didn't lose it. I wasn't bothered about people pulling at it because it wasn't going to go anywhere, so I was quite happy with that. So I've touched on security a little bit, and I just want to circle back and discuss something. If you've read the blog, you'll know already, probably, maybe, but I have a bit of a thing about it, that you go to security, you need to be wearing the right clothing to go through security. So you've got to take your coats off, any jackets, shirts. So I'm wearing a shirt and a t-shirt. This shirt would need to come off. Similarly, hoodie, cardigan, coat, anything that is an outer garment that's not a t-shirt, then it needs to come off. Shoes, so anything that is mid-ankle and above, that'll probably need to come off. Anything with thick soles probably needs to come off. Anything that seems to have big metal zips, buckles, they need to come off, so you'll be needing to go through barefoot if it needs be. It doesn't really matter. That is pretty much carte blanche. When you get to the security point and you've got to empty all your stuff in your bin, so this bag fits straight in the bin, the other bag that we'll come to in a second, that fits straight in. Empty your pockets. When it says empty your pockets, it means there must be nothing in your pocket. If you walk through and say, oh, it's just a tissue, it's irrelevant. It's something that's in your pocket. They can't see what that is. It's just a tissue. They don't know if it's a wrap of your 3 for 100 from the night before left over in your pocket, or it's something just harmless like a tissue. So when they say empty your pockets, please empty your pockets, because you're holding yourself up and you're holding everyone up behind you. So I have a thing, when you stood in that queue, which is probably a good half an hour long in the majority of places. I think at Leeds it was about an hour, sort of zigzagging backwards and forwards. You think you're getting to the end and then you go through to another area and then you zigzag through that area. So when you get near to that front, I take everything out of my pocket. So your phone, your chewing gum, discarded tissue, sweet wrappers in the top pocket is another one that I've been annoyed with. Not mine, may I add, or somebody that was with me, but empty your pockets. Take your watch off. Some places say you can leave your watch on. Better than that, just be safe than sorry. Take everything off that you think shouldn't be on. So any extra jewellery, big necklaces, big bracelets, don't need them on. Take them off. Don't travel with them if you don't need to. Or keep them in your bag, and then when you get to where you go, put them on. Anyway, I took my watch off, chewing gum and phone out of my pocket, and then I put them in this little bag. I have a couple of different types of crossbody bags, bum bags, call them what you want. This is a Sacoche from Porter and Nishida. I've had it for a while. It's a bit well, it looks used, but this is mainly for my passport. So I keep my passports in here, this on my body, not in the bag, so if I lose the bag, it doesn't matter. I've got all my passports here. But more often than not, the reason why is because they're handy to get. So if I go to the security point, I can pull out my phone with my boarding pass, and I can pull out my passport and go through that. So my passports are in a Belroy zip up case. This is the family passport, if you like. It's got everyone's passports in there, but I just dump my watch and my phone in there as well, so it goes in the bin. Everything's kept nice and tidy. I get on the other side, I just put my bag on, pick this up, and I know I've got everything. I'm not messing and rushing and getting myself in a fuster, because I've sorted myself out, got my life in order, and I'm not dicking around. Woosah. It's really frustrating. The next thing in that security line that really annoys me, belts. Are you wearing a belt? If you're wearing a belt, you need to take your belt off. If you've got metal buttons on your trousers, your jeans for example, they can set the security off as well, so be mindful of that. But a belt, I used to have, I think it was a Teddy Smith belt from, I bought it when I was in my late teens from a skate shop somewhere. I loved it. I travelled with that for years. It just had a big buckle on it, plastic buckle, didn't set any scanners off. It was fine. My pants stayed up, great. Then I've got older, wiser, more mature, and I come across a brand called Arcade, and Arcade make belts like this that just have a little plastic clip. That's the buckle done. They are elasticated and they're less than 20 quid. This is the oldest one I've got. This is, I think, 8 years, maybe 9 years old, and I've used this for a lot of flights. I've got a couple of newer ones now that are different patterns. They come in different colours, different styles. The buckle's slightly newer now as well on the new ones. But I have never been stopped going through security with one of these on. It is just, they say the TSA approved. Doesn't really matter for us, but it's the only thing that I would say, get one of these if you don't want to keep messing about taking your belt off, because you won't need to take it off. And if they ask you if you've got one on, I generally just say no, because I haven't. It's not metal on, so that's what sets the machine off. But never been stopped. Worth it. As we're discussing EDC, I'll tell you what is in my little sacoche bag, and of course patch in a little zip pocket on the back. Keep whatever you want in there. The necessities are headphones. Now these are Apple AirPod Pros, I think. They just stay in a nice little pocket inside there. These are the only things that I need on the flight. Download a couple of things to my phone, put my headphones in, and I can watch or listen to music and just do my own thing and not have to talk to anyone around you, because I'm not paying to sit next to people that I'll be sat next to for the rest of the weekend in an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the flight time is. So it's a cheap ticket, cheap flight. I don't need to do that. So it's not because I'm tight, but headphones are a must. A couple of these are nano bags. Back these on Kickstarter years ago. They're just little folding ripstop sort of type material shopping bags. They come in handy for putting stuff in. So if I wanted to put this in my jacket, I could put that in and just carry that as a one bag in itself. Or what I actually use them for is when I go and buy a couple bottles of water or something like that, I've got a bag that is there. I don't have to mess about. I've got one. And then the only other two things that are in this at the moment, say that. Oh no. Of course. My chewing gum. So I have my chewing gum. I have a Burt's Bees, and I did have a Nerd Wax, which is for glasses. So you put them on the little rubber thing on the bridge of your glasses, and it stops them sliding off. Perfect for hot, sweaty weather. And then I have a couple of these. These are flossing little brush things, just because I use them, so I always have them. But then this is a cheap neoprene zip pouch for spectacles. I wear spectacles, I need them for reading and stuff, so I generally carry them with me. I'm usually wearing them, so when I take them off, I can put them in this, put them in that little sacoche, and I'm done until I need them again. But I have a pair of sunglasses in there, which are these. These are from Ombraz, and they are armless. No, they're not harmless, they are armless, as in they have no arms. So they just fit on your head. You can adjust them, loosen them off, but they fold flat. They come in a nice little neoprene case, and they're flat. I'm not bothered about them. They fit perfectly, as I say, in that little pouch, and they're great. Moving swiftly on into the bag. Now, there's a lot of things in here that you will not need or you may not have, so you know, take everything with a pinch of salt. But I like to take photographs, so I have a camera. This is my Leica, and not that you're bothered about the camera itself, but what I wrap the camera in is called a tech wrap, and it is just like a waterproof material and then a soft velvety sort of material on the inside. It has a piece of elastic with a cord lock on it, and I can just wrap my camera in that. It provides a bit of waterproofness, not a lot, but some, and I can leave it in that as it's out and around my body when I'm out walking around, even with the sacoche as well and carrying my bag. I can have my camera there and not be too worried about it with that. It's not 100% perfect, but I've had this is a Kickstarter campaign, and again, I can't remember when I got this, maybe 2016 or something. So yeah, 10 years and it's still going. I've got another one that because I bought two. I've never used the second one. It's just this one. Now, there are no clothes in this, but all my clothes go in a nice sort of packing cube. So in this, I think I had 2 shirts, 2 t-shirts, 3 pairs of boxers, 3 pairs of socks, a pair of shorts, and I think that might have been it. For clothing in there, enough for 3 days, perfect really, with a couple of spare pairs of, well, a spare pair of boxers and socks. My clothing fits in there, stands up against the back of the bag. We'll come back to that. I should have done the front of the pocket first, but I have my wallet. In my wallet, as you have seen on the footage, I have the Swiss card, nail care one, and also the Count Sporcula. Now they're the most EDC items in my wallet. I don't necessarily need things in my wallet. I have a little bit of UK cash, and then my euros go with my passport, so I don't really need the wallet per se. But I have a spare battery pack. This is one that I picked up recently in a Monday sales. It's an Anchor one, and it comes in built with a USB-C thing. I used this and it was fantastic, and I don't normally have this because it's brand new, as I say, but it came in useful. The first thing that I do, going back to when I'm packing this bag, the first thing that I do, it has a key leash thing, and I put on there my house keys, so that I know as soon as I pull up outside my house, when I get home, I've got a house key. I'm not rummaging around, I'm not worried, I'm not having to leave them in my car and my car gets stolen or anything like that. I can always get back home because these are in my bag, unless I lose the bag. But we've got things for that as well, of course. So that's just my house key, little key ring, and then some of you may have seen the little in-charge cable thing to charge things up, so that's a spare. Also on that key leash is another Kickstarter campaign. It's Nerd Wax, but it's a lens cloth, so that's for my camera. Then everything else there's nothing else other than a spare Ziploc. Now again, security, depending where you're flying to and from Leeds, you can leave everything in your bag, all your liquids, electronics and everything. Flying back home from LimogeS, they wanted everything out, so all electrics out, all liquids had to be in the Ziploc bag. They want you to use their Ziploc bags, but my stuff could go in here and then this fit inside their Ziploc bags. They can be a bit funny about that, so take it with a pinch of salt, but doesn't harm to have something like this with you anyway. It takes up no room. We'll talk about the nonsense stuff. So I have a Bellroy pouch, and inside this Bellroy pouch is stuff that you probably don't necessarily need because you weren't planning on doing the things that I was, as in making the videos. So I have an Insta360 camera, complete with its selfie stick. I have the DJI Pocket 3 with its extra handle battery pack that is also in a bit of a frame, which I used. This back piece is magnetic, and I used that to stick and have so I could talk to it. That was the plan, but didn't have to use that. A little tripod for the same thing. AirTag, which is a fantastic thing. It stays in this bag, of course. I can move that and put it wherever I want. And then a microphone. Now, the majority of people aren't going to want this pouch, the camera that I had, plus this, which is an Ilford Sprite 35mm camera that has a special filament. It's called Red Tornado, puts a red tinge on everything, and I wanted to take some photographs that were a bit summery and a bit vibrant. So that itself, not everyone's going to have that, I get that, but I had it, so we're going through it. Then one pouch is a High Planet pouch. In this, this is a bit of a consumables. This is a Matador. It's not a travel towel, travel cloth. It's a multifunctional piece of material, and I used it. We've put it out and we sat on some grassland, dusty grassland, watched fireworks from the comfort of this without getting filthy, so it's always handy to have. I take that pretty much everywhere with me because it's so small and very useful. Similarly, there is another Ziploc bag in this as well. Similarly, there is another Matador. This is Matador Volcom. It's a beach towel, and I mean, you can see how big that is, but it's a full-size beach towel, quick drying, and one of my favourite bits of travel kit, shall we say. And then this is called a splash bag, Kickstarter campaign, and this is just a little pouchy thing, big industrial zip on the top that's waterproof, and you can put wet clothes in there and it doesn't go anywhere else. I didn't get wet, didn't need to get wet, but just in case, I always like to have that wet with me. Again, it folds up tiny, so I'm not that bothered about it taking up any space. Pasta pigs. Are you even travelling if you don't have travel pasta pigs? Important pouch and extra thing that doesn't fit in that pouch, but it has its own little bag, so it's fine. This is the Zendure travel charger, which is fantastic. It's got a few USB-Cs and a USB-A. It has multiple countries that you can use it in, and I take that everywhere with me. It always works wherever I go, so I never have any issues charging things up. It doesn't come with this pouch, but it comes in conjunction with this pouch in my bag, another Hind Planet pouch, and my cable of choice is the rolling square multi-cable thing that is, I want to say, 10 foot in length, so I know that I can plug that in on one side of the room. Obviously I stay in Airbnbs quite a bit, and sometimes there might only be one plug socket and it's half a mile away, so using a big cable like this so I can move about and have things where I want, I can have. Then I have this, which is a fantastic piece of kit. USB-C, and it has what is MagSafe and Qi wireless, pretty much the same thing. So I can charge 2 iPhones on this if I need to. I can charge one iPhone and my headphones, but I can also charge an Apple Watch on there if I wanted to. I have the flash for the Leica. I have the mini rolling square cable as well, just because it's handy to have that, again in conjunction with the Nightcore Summit 10,000 mAh battery. This has USB-C and USB-A. This cable I can use with that and charge up my phone, my AirPods, whatever on the go. Always lovely to have something like that. And then this is a fancy little gizmo, totally not necessary for the majority of people, but it's a charge memory device thing that I can plug into my phone. It's MagSafe, it's got a little MagSafe thing on the back of it. I can plug it into my phone, I can use the D-Log video on my phone direct to this because this is an extra memory. More importantly, I can get things off my camera through my phone onto this and not worry about anything, or the DJI camera or whatever. And I've got this extra memory just in case I run out of memory. Handy, not 100% necessary. A couple more things. A random thing is, yes, I have this, something that I carry. It weighs nothing, it's a coat hanger. I can put my clothes out. I've got a shirt that, I had a shirt, there was a linen shirt, so I could hang this up as soon as I got there. There were hangers where I was staying, but I hung up my clothes for the next day on this and I'm ready to go. It's got these little clips so I could hang my boxers and my socks, and I was ready to go. Not necessary, handy. Then this is another new item, and I have sent a few postcards whilst I was there back to the UK and across Europe and also to the States. I always have a fountain pen with me. I like writing in the fountain pens, makes them nice, makes the postcard really good. A bit of practice writing makes it look nice because I use different coloured inks. This was a little Monday sales off the Co-op website, Co-op Facebook group even, and I have 2 Coeco Sports, one being the rollerball and one being the fountain pen of the aluminium variety, and they were lovely to have with me. I had 2 pens then, I didn't just have one fountain pen, so I had a couple of things. Yeah, just fits in the bag nicely. Then another Trakke item. This is the little field pouch it's called, and I know that there are a couple of things that aren't in here. So the first thing, again, 100% not necessary to anyone and everybody, but I have 2 extra cameras just in case all the cameras that I've already shown you aren't enough. But these are just fun little things, the Instax Mini and the Charmerer, just fun little things. I did use them, I did get a couple of good pictures from them, and that's it. In there I had some small plastic little things that I kept my pills in this pouch with me because I take medication, and they were fine. I used to take my prescription and in a big Ziploc bag and have everything there, the boxes, the sleeves. But honestly, no one has ever asked about my medication. I have never been stopped because of my medication. I've been stopped more times for having the Insta360 selfie stick or the Spork being a beard comb and the fountain pen ink on a Twisby, the liquid. They were more concerned about what the fountain pen was than anything. Then I have my own medication, so I've sort of gone a bit rogue. I'm carrying them in little plastic tubs now. Probably look like a drug dealer, but no one's ever asked me if I am or I'm not, so it doesn't matter. Then another thing, it's a happy sack, or an Aki sack as this is known. It's from Accrington. It's a little leather ball. Don't ask why I have that. I just have just a fun little thing that I do, but that is just in nothingness. Again, something you don't need, most probably. Another thing that you definitely don't need is I do a daily drawing wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, in a little traveller's notebook. This fits in the little laptop compartment on the back, and just to show you a picture I did in LimogeS, just a fun little thing that I do, and it takes up no space. I did that on the flight, and it was something to do whilst listening to music with my pencil there, and the lid's just fallen off my pencil, but you get the idea. And then last but not least, the thing that everyone has wanted to endure this video for is actual EDC. So we've got a garage built gear pouch, multicam black. There was a gift off a top cooperator, something I'm very happy I've got. Wanted something this pouch for a long time, and it was gifted to me with me trying to say no many times. But on the zip I've got a little glow ring tracer thing, which is nice to have, and then opening it up you can see the items in there. Now ordinarily I have these items in this pouch, which is much smaller and can find everything in that fits in this, but I've got this, I wanted to use it, and I'm happy I did. So first item, Silver Fox Tools Sharpie, and second item is another pen. It's the Aerocrafted pen, and I love this pen because it does that. It's titanium. Most of this kit is titanium actually, but it's a nice little pen. A Raylight Pineapple. Nice little light. Then the Griffin pry bar. It's a good little bottle opener and a pry bar, of course. Comes in handy to have something like that to pry things open. Then the next item, and this is one of my favourite everyday carry, getting on a plane items, because a lot of people get confused. No, it is not a mini champ. It is the Jet Setter at Work allowance. It has scissors, has a tiny screwdriver, and a USB stick. Now, I genuinely love this. I had one in COVID times. I went to the Czech Republic and I lost one, and I had to buy a second one. This is the second one. I'm gutted I lost the first one. The memory stick is only 16 gig, but all I use it for is copies of all our passports. I put any tickets, so the flight details, anything like that goes on here. When I've been abroad in Italy, I've had to download the train tickets. I've always put backup on here so that if I can't get into my phone, I've got them if I need them. Hotels are likely to try and print things out for you. If I took that into the train station, they might not understandably want to plug that into the laptop, but it's handy to have, I think. But it's cool because it confuses a lot of people. They're out of stock in a lot of places, and the places where they aren't, they're expensive. They're about £75 in the UK. I got this from Germany, I think, and literally it was half. It was €35 I paid for it. So shop around if you can find one. Good luck. If you can find another one, I might be open to a second one. Then another good little thing that I'm sure you've seen maybe on a couple of other videos, and this is a slightly different version of it, but it's the same thing. This little keychain. So this is the Rovivon Aurora little flashlight. Now this is a fantastic little light in itself, the capabilities of what it is. As a backup, safety, security, peace of mind, whatever you want to call it, it's just a great little light. It glows in the dark. Leave that on the side of your bedside table or whatever in your Airbnb. It's great. Similarly, earplugs. Now I will touch on these slightly. So this is a Matador earplug container. It has 2 in it. Now people say to me, I sleep with these when I go camping, not these, but some earplugs, and people say they don't work, earplugs are crap because they don't fit in my ears. A lot of time people aren't wearing earplugs correctly. There is a specific way of putting these in your ear for them to actually be of any use. So the first thing you need to do is squish and roll the whole thing so it sort of resembles that. Then left ear, right hand, behind your head, top of your ear, pull your ear upwards and backwards, so like that, earplug in your ear hole, and if you rotate it as you put it in, you want to push it, I'm going to say as far as you can go, but not as far as you can go, because people will tell me off, but you want it to go in and then leave it, and it'll just expand on its own, and it's fine. When it does expand in the ear, you'll know, and it's muffled. It doesn't completely block the sound, of course, but it's far better. And if you're sleeping in places that you've never slept before, that might be what you need so you can get to sleep. Last but not least on this keyring, it is the Heat It. This is the USB-C version. You may have seen the last one I had when I did this was the Lightning version, because I had a phone that was Lightning, and now I have USB-C. So it's just an app. It has a little end that heats up, and that's why it's called Heat It. You put it on top of your burn, and it's nice. I really like them, and that's why I've got a couple. And I think in the pouch there I have not much more bits than anything. I have this little coin holder with the special one-off EDC Cooperative challenge coin with the sort of honeycomb pattern, and a Manchester B on the opposite side. Quite a personal one, but I love that. Another challenge coin which I only have with me for photographs in a specific pizza shop. That is why that's with me. And then a piece of Ultim, which is a memento mori, and that's just because I like it. And that is pretty much it. That is everything that I had with me on my last flight to Limoges and back. And something, well, there's a lot of stuff that you won't necessarily need or want, but it's stuff that I've had on the plane, that I've used, that I have been able to take with me. Didn't necessarily need it all, didn't use it all, and if you've got anything that you say I'd have taken this, then put it down below. I would genuinely like to hear. It's something that I've touched on, the sort of TSA approved stuff and what you take on holidays since we very first started the co-op. One of the very first blog posts I ever did was on a brand new 2017 iPad that I bought to go on holiday with, and wrote the blog whilst I was on holiday, so I know for a fact that this was something that I wanted to do from the beginning. And then I had little mini routers that I could use people's Wi-Fi and all kinds of stuff that I just didn't need really for a family holiday. They were nice to have. Even Amazon Fire Stick. Taking an Amazon Fire Stick is a good idea if it's your own personal one. It's got your own apps on it, it's got all your own security details on it. You can just plug a VPN in and you're done. You can watch whatever you want. But I don't go on holiday to do that. I don't really have the time to do that. Some people do, some people aren't bothered, so I don't bother taking my Amazon Fire Stick. But things like that you can do. It'd fit in that bag, no problem, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm just labouring the point that that's what I took on my last Ryanair flight. Soon there will be another one where I take a slightly different bag and show you different things that I've taken. Some of the same things, but we'll go through that when I do that video. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any thoughts, please put them down below and I shall get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'll link up here to some other videos that I think you might like, maybe. But that's it for now, so thanks for watching. Take care. See you on the next one.